Okay, guys, it is part 7 of Anime Book Club.
Woo!
Final part of our ReZero section. Starting
Aw.
Life in Another World. Yes,
Aw.
bittersweet.
Oh
We
man,
finished the
very
first chapter of
bittersweet.
Anime Book Club. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's this nice little concept I have, and it seems like it's got good reviews. And like I'm hoping people who like anime think it's a cool idea, and I'm really hoping this is a way that we can get new people into trying something out. Yeah, like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed this shit. This is dope. Literally just watching the ending again was like rewatching it for the first time. It felt like it's like I had like I kind of knew it was gonna happen. The main story, didn't remember all the details, but it was like it felt like I was watching it new. Super dope. So let's get right into episode 23. So 23.
I got this. All right. So boom. So crazy. Ram shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa. What's Ram doing here? This is crazy.
Oh, facts.
And then it was wild because Ferris, the girl was really a guy, cat.
Felix.
Felix. Sorry.
Oh, like Ferris, like Anna?
Like, I'm about to say like Ferris Bueller. Like, yeah, nah.
What do you call it? He discovers the undercover witch cult guy, which I was like, dang, that's wild.
They're creeping.
They had the undercovers, they had the ops. Damn, witch cult. It blows up the carriage. Boom. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my god. Subaru is like,
Subaru woke up to a fight.
First of all, can we talk about how Felix was just
in a burlap sack?
In a burlap sack. He was like, yo, what happened to your clothes?
He was like, my healing powers don't work on clothes. Like, what you want me to do?
And I'm like, well, everybody else's clothes are intact and everybody else got blown. So what is your excuse?
Not everyone else got blown up, TT.
Okay.
Blew up in front of Felix and Subaru.
And what happened to Subaru's clothes?
La saved Subaru.
Oh yeah, because of the spirit put the little orb, he put the bubble shield around him. Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, man, oh man, the witch people came out of nowhere.
You missed the key part.
Oh, yes.
Because now I'm looking. I remember. You missed when he was having a difficult time trying to get them to like not just blame Amelia, because they were like, "Oh, it's the cult. It's all her fault." Da, da. And he was getting frustrated again, and in this character here, where he's like, "Nah, like if I just start going off and getting mad and start yelling at people, it doesn't help the situation." Yeah. So go on. So the witch cult people came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere. It was like boom, boom, boom. Sneak attack. And I was like, wow, this is wild. But then Subaru tricks one of the fingers to go into the forest. I thought that was very smart. How it was the same girl from the previous episode. That it was almost like the reincarnation of Petula Geese, but she was just another finger.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, we going into the woods. Boom. He didn't even realize these woods, they full of the witch fiends. And unless you got this magical orb, use his dog food, girl. And then out of nowhere, boom, the hellhounds from Call of Duty zombies came out of nowhere. Like,
bro, that was mad. That was so graphic, but I loved it. Like they really just came through and like just bit her hand.
Bro, anytime anything happens to a follower of the witch cult, it's so satisfying. Because you're like, I watched you kill these motherfuckers.
All right, can we talk about? You know what I was thinking about? I have not watched a single episode in the sub. No, sorry, the dub. And I know, Miles, you have, but I will say I don't know if I could ever do it because the witch cult people, them in sub is amazing.
It's so good.
Like, especially when they keep saying love. It's like I need.
Yeah, whenever Beetlejuice takes over one of the fingers. But yeah, so that was you got that fight, you got the
Amelia and Puck showed up and was like, don't forget about us.
Yeah, you see her start to win over some of the people. That was great. Oh man, 23 was again creating that despair. Amelia comes, fights the last finger, saves Subaru. We're like, bet it's cake. These last 2 episodes are going to be closing an arc. And
we saw it. We really thought, bro.
Son Subaru's like, yo, we gotta get out of here.
Yo, when Subaru dipped, And then he went into the back of the forest, bro. And then he started talking like Beetlejuice. I was like, yo, they got him too. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible. But like, yo, kind of like how he figured out what happened later. Like he really is a smart dude. I give him a lot of credit for what I'm gonna say later. But yo, and then just seeing him like ask to die was like, I mean, obviously,
bro, that was
smart because he knew that he could come back.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he probably knew, but like he didn't know when. So that was hard for him because it's like if he had to go all the way back to the beginning to where he had to like form like the contracts and everything all over again, and it's
that'd just be annoying.
Like you saw how difficult it was for both of them. Where like Julie's first reaction is like, "No, I can't do that," and then Felix like immediately, like when he looked Felix in the eye, and Felix is just like just started tearing up immediately and was like, "Fuck, like we actually have to do this."
Hey, real quick, before Amelia and Puck came through on the scene, they were at the house and they were talking about like, oh, is Betty gonna come? And I think it was Puck was like, no, Betty's gonna chill. The library is safe anyway. And then it like went to like a cutaway of like Betty.
Oh, hold on, no, you're mixing up the episodes.
Oh, was that 24?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, I guess we're on 24 anyway since we've ended.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. So, preface before we get to that part.
Okay, before we get to that part, the save point changes because now he's after they beat the white whale, which was really a relief because I was like, yo, if he has to
fight the white whale again, bro.
I would have been tight. I'm like, bro, I'm not watching this.
Unplug the console. Done.
That's a fact. But yeah, it was cool. And now it's like, all right.
Brainstorming on how to deal with,
like now he knows there's a spy, so he can just devise a plan to catch the spy. And then I thought it was cool when Subaru disguised himself, went to the mansion. It was like, yo, we need you, blah 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 blah.
And that's where you're talking about the thing with Betty.
And that's when and my thing is right. My question is, remember how he asked her to protect him?
Mm-hmm.
And like in like the little cutaway, she even says like, "Oh, she has a contract or something like that to like uphold."
Well, she's contracted to the house.
Okay.
Yeah, remember she has a contract with Roswell to protect like the estate, pretty much. So that's why she can't leave the property.
Speaking of Roswell, how come he didn't come back on the scene like at all? What was he doing again?
I don't remember exactly what it was. He was doing some political shit, and then when he found out about what was going on, they told Amelia, even though I feel like it might be fake, they told Amelia that Roswell was gonna go, like, you know how they split up the villagers? Roswell was gonna go with half of them, and then
he was gonna protect. He was gonna protect them, and then Ram was supposed to go to the sanctuary with the other half. Got you. That was good, and it was a callback. Do you guys realize that the callback of the cloak that Subaru was wearing from all the way back in episode 1, where like you can't recognize the person.
Yeah, and they did that. They did that little flashback too, where it was like, "Yo, what the hell's going on with that spell?" And then he was like, "Yo, I didn't steal it, I swear." And it was like, "Yo, that was the turning point in Subaru right there, turning point of the show in that argument."
But can we talk about the parallels between this show and Naruto in the final 2 episodes? Because towards the end of the episode of 24, when he's talking with Petula Geese and he's figuring out like what their plan was, and it's to use Amelia as a new host, and I'm like, this is sounding really Orochimaru like.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, oh man, all right,
that was wild though. Like I don't remember that from the first time I watched it. So it was like, okay, so the whole idea, like literally, and I asked this before. It's like, what is the ordeal? Okay, so we get the answer about what the ordeal is. The whole point of the ordeal is just to try and bring the witch back in a physical body, and it's to see if Amelia is the one to do it.
Which I think she is because she's half elf.
I think she isn't because they killed her.
They killed who?
Remember, every time Subaru came to the house, when he found them dead each time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I think that she didn't fit.
Interesting.
Right? And I'm still very confused because, like, I'm like, if the whole point of it was to see, and Beetlejuice says, he's like, hey, if she's the right one, it'll work. If not, she'll just die. and it's like,
oh yeah,
well, they were just killing her. So
true. But
but you don't know, because there's got to be some relation, her being half elf and having such a appearance.
But it's interesting though, but because she has a spirit, and the spirit is like the thing that can, kind of counteract these witch cult and witch fiends. So wouldn't she not be a good fit because she has that spirit with her at all times? Unless they were to take out the spirit separately. But I mean, Puck's not leaving Amelia's side at all. Like, says that all the time.
I don't know, man.
But that was crazy, which leads up to and there's another parallel in the Naruto's, because at the end of that episode 24, when he meets up with Petrologis, right, and it's him and Julius, and he's like, oh yeah, just use the nect or whatever that one power is, and he can see what Subaru sees. And I'm like, wow, so this is just a Renegon.
Oh my god! Wait, that was 24. Yeah, that was 24.
That was like right at the end of 24.
Right end,
Oh my god! So that shit was wavy. That was when Subaru actually was doing some shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When he was seeing through. Oh my god! I really want to talk about this shit now, but I just gotta wait for my.
Well,
shit.
I mean, he really wasn't doing it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's a fact.
He was being useful. He was being.
Well, yeah, right.
He wasn't setting it up. He was being firsthand useful.
Right. That's a fact. And they couldn't have done it without each other is really what I'm getting at, because Julius couldn't see shit without it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it was dope. It was like, it gave you everything in the show. You got the romance, you got the action, you got the magic, you got the writing, the story, the villains, and then you get the bonds of friendship.
It's just mad funny, because every time Petrolgeese or Beetlejuice, whatever, he's like, every time, because every new time that and he does the hands and they avoid the hands, he's like, how can you see my hands? What? This is nonsense. What?
Like when they were chasing him, he was chasing him.
Yeah.
And then there was like, why is he floating like that? And then he was like, who was like, oh, that's what you see? Like, he's like, this is terrifying. It looks like something's holding him, but he's just floating.
No, them little kids is mad funny. Oh man.
And then that brings us what else? Anything else happened in 24? Oh, it was Subaru fixing everything. Like, it was him being fully prepared for the final showdown. It was basically 24. 24 was him tying up all the loose ends.
When they went undercut
with Amelia, all that shit.
And then when they actually finished fighting, that was end of 24. That was beginning of 25.
Yeah, the fight finishes in 25.
Yeah, the beginning of 25.
Yeah, and then Petrolgeese is gone, or so we think.
Yeah. Wait, time out. Before we even get into that, that was the craziest freaking thing. I think because Subaru gets so many chances when it comes to, like, he has to return by death, obviously, but because of that, he actually has mastered this thing at learning from his experiences, learning how to manipulate the fact that he can return by death to do certain things. For example, like when he speaks about it, obviously that's when the witch pronounces himself. So when homie died, or so we think that he's about, well, in the process of when he's dying, he's trying to take over, and you know how he can transfer from body to body and stuff. When he pulled up into Subaru's body, he's like, yo, all right, I can return by death. And then that's when the witch kind of comes out, whatever. And then the witch comes out and bodies Beetlejuice and throws him. And he basically, like,
you're not the one. Rejected him.
That was freaky. And I was like, yo, this is tough. I was like, that's fire.
Yeah. And I think the wild thing is Subaru didn't really know what happened, because he was like, what? You gave up after like one thing? And it's like, not only did she push him out, his Beetlejuice was like so shook that he was like, yo, this is just upset. Like, this turned my whole life. It's like, you never meet your heroes.
Devoted. He
like
literally
his
devoted.
entire life to being with her. And he finally sees her and she's like, yeah, nope. This ain't it. And
I'm good, love.
Yeah. It broke him mentally before Julius delivered that final blow, and then he tried to off himself with the rocks by accident.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you think shit's sweet. And then you think it's all over.
So
and to an extent it was.
Quick question, because I might have missed this, but those explosives. Where did those come from?
So those explosives, remember in episode 24 where they found the spy and he blew the shit up? So, but the only thing was like the way he blew it up was he used those rocks. So they're like firestones, but he basically took everyone's firestones and put them together. So
right. The same firestone that Subaru had thrown at that encasing okay.
Yep. So it was like he took all that shit and he was just gonna try and use it to like as a bomb, but they're like this time he didn't set up anything for it. It wasn't trapped or anything. It would have just been do it. But since we stopped him, it was just in the cart and it was just, you know, potential. And then he turned into like classic hero. He made it just in time. And then as he's trying to get there, you know, you see Betelgeuse's body on like the end of his spirit trying to come back to kill Subaru, which was wild. That whole just the way they made it look, it was just real human centipede shit. But one person like chasing after him. And I feel like that just showed, and it to me it was so contradictory for him to be Sloth and to have this thing working so hard trying to get it back, you know, trying to get back to him. Like that was pretty wild. Also for him to put together that if he finished the book, finished his gospel by writing finish or whatever, that's how to get rid of him. It's pretty wild.
Okay. All right. Because okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense now.
I didn't get why it finished him though. I understand he wrote the word like finished, but I don't get why that was like the end.
I guess because my theory, and there's a couple of theories that I have. I guess Subaru understood that it's the gospel, but there was hella blank pages in there. So I guess he was like, if this is his gospel that he's trying so hard to get, and everyone gets their own, if you're in the witch's cult, it might be related. You know what I mean? So he was like, okay, so I guess as you do more things, the pages. So now I'm thinking about it more, and I'm like, it could be. Remember how he checked the book before the first time he did this? Mm-hmm. Maybe he noticed that it had less pages or more pages. You know what I mean? So it's like as he does things. And or the second thing is maybe he can read it now.
Well, that's what I thought from the beginning. I always thought he could read it, and there was such an affinity for him.
He was like, I don't understand. Like, what does it say? And they were like, oh, if you could read it, like that means you're part of the cult.
So do you think him being possessed by the dude allowed him to be able to read it?
Maybe. And also, I still think he might be pride.
Yeah, there's something going on in him.
I still think it would explain why he was brought there in the first place. But yeah, so we get the whole chase down scene.
That was scary with him as a spider.
Yeah.
Oh my
god.
Oh,
like, the eyes gouged out and all of that. I was like, what?
Yeah. And did you guys notice he actually references the witch by name? He starts saying like right before he grabs the book with one of his arms, Satella. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
That was it was pretty intense. And then he makes it in time, grabs the rocks. Amelia sees him for the first time.
His entrance in the carriage was smooth. Oh my gosh.
OD. We also see Wilhelm being more of a badass.
He said, yo, you're not gonna distract him from a man trying to get his lady. Yeah. I was like, yo, okay.
He was like, you basically, I see you, Playboy. Go ahead, Subaru.
That's right. He the old pimp that making sure you get your girl. Right.
Oh man. But yeah, and then we get the super touching the love scene after him explaining his love, Amelia being like, wow, people can actually like me.
Boo.
You know.
Team Rem.
I'm not. I definitely feel JT on that. But
I mean, remember JT was saying that they were never gonna end up together. And they technically didn't. He was like, he was like, if it's gonna take you some time, I'll give you time to learn to love me.
You're gonna learn to love me.
So friend zone, like he did to Rem.
But I mean, like with Amelia though, it's like he confesses love, and it's obviously implied that Amelia loves him back.
Yeah, she's just one of those people who just isn't accustomed to accepting love into their life.
You know who is accustomed to it?
She was like,
Rem.
She's definitely not, but she actually loves him.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Rem Hive all day.
And she wants him to love him back, but
Yeah, Rem Hive all day.
yeah, it's just crazy because like I think in terms of Amelia, like I really felt what she said when she was just like, wow, my whole life has treated me special, but this is the only time that being special made me feel like this. Like, you know, if that it was something along the lines of that, like
She was like, "This is the only time that anyone's like actually treated me in a special way that was good."
yeah, basically, yeah, right.
Yeah,
That was pretty. That was
touching
pretty dope.
shit.
It was a little mushy for me for the last episode, but I still think
but
like
you gotta, if you have all these storylines, a good ending, you want to wrap them all up.
yeah.
So that would have been the last unfinished one. But yeah, how do you guys feel about the ending in general? Do you feel like it was content? Yeah, tell me what you think about it as this, like, you've seen the whole season, and now thankfully season 2 is finally in production, so we will hopefully get a season 2 in the next year or so.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to leave off of a cliffhanger. I think the only unanswered, like just the witch. I thought we'd maybe get like something about like how he was brought to that from like his real world area.
I mean, I'm sure there's more in the manga and hopefully in the next season. But yeah, you got to think this came out in 2016, and we didn't know if there was going to be a second season. Miles?
I favored this a lot. The main thing that I like when I watch animes is character development, and I think because of the nature of the show, I think the protagonist, being Subaru, obviously, he grew a lot, and with that said, he grew in ways where he just got better. He got smarter, and he learned to use his weaknesses as his strength. From when he first got into the interaction with that with the one girl, when it was him, felt an old man, and he kind of was just scared and was willing to back down, to the point where the white whale was overpowering him, and he was the one that was leading everybody and was acknowledged by Crush. So I think with that said, I think Subaru's character development was probably my favorite part about the show, and I think that I think because of how his character development went, it's okay that he wasn't the strongest of protagonists, but
look at you coming around. Look
Yeah.
at you.
yeah,
I'm about to
so
say.
many weeks it was like, yo, fucking hate Subaru, man. What kind of protagonist in this? But you see, he did come around. He had some redeeming qualities in the end.
right, absolutely. And I'm happy that I came around, because I think he's a genuine and good character. I mean, it kind of ended a little bit sweet. I didn't expect him to just flat out be like, yo, Amelia, I love you. Like, okay, word. Like, this only season 1, but every anime is different. You can't hold everything to the same account, if that makes sense. But I definitely think this was a great show from what I saw.
I'm glad you guys see why it's in my top 5.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's and like I said, like, it's just from a character development standpoint, from a writing standpoint, from even just the acting standpoint, because the voice actors do a great job. Like, I do say that it's one of the best shows that I've just watched, just show in general, not just anime. And you'll hear me say that a lot. So even if you're not into anime, I do think it's one that you can watch and then definitely enjoy, and it might want to open you up to other things. And that's why I wanted to do that as the first show. Yeah, it's been a fun.
It's been a hell of a ride.
Journey. Yeah, dope. Like, any last words? Should we pour one out for each anime when we finish?
I will say, Little Peoples are my favorites. They're great. The brother is fantastic. He reminds me of
Remember the two brothers? Which one? The one with the monocle? Or the one with
the one with the monocle. The one with the monocle reminds me of the one kid from Naruto that's friends with Konohamaru. That always got the runny nose. But I was interested. You know what I was interested though? I thought I'd see Crush and Anastasia in the last episode for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that. And then I don't know what's going on with the other girl, the one that be wearing red all the time. That had Subaru.
Oh, Priscilla?
Yeah, licking the foot.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I don't like her. She's sketchy.
Yeah.
So that's another one. The witch and Priscilla. But other than that, I liked it. It was good.
There's a lot of untied ends about this.
Catch
show,
me,
which is like,
catch me donning the Subaru jumpsuit at Comic-Con this year. You already know the vibes.
Do it, bro. People will definitely get that.
Natsuki is Subaru.
All right. Yeah. So in closing, I would have liked to watch the video with you guys on the podcast, but I'm gonna put it in the description of both the pod and YouTube. If you do want to check out this video, it's one that I recommend now, since at this point, hopefully you guys have finished it. Yeah, it's called ReZero in 8 minutes, and it's hilarious. When we finish recording, I'm probably just gonna be like, "Yo, let's watch this shit," because it's so fucking funny. But yeah, and it covers all the feelings that you feel throughout the show. So it's pretty dope. And without further ado, the next show we will be covering in Anime Book Club is going to be Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. Not going to say a whole lot about it. Just it's a little bit of a palate cleanser, not as intense and serious as ReZero. So I wanted to do something like that, and I really enjoyed it. It was awesome. So that's gonna be the next one. Again, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. It's a short season, so it's only 11 episodes. For next episode, it will be episodes 1 through 3. So that'll be a good place to stop. And then yeah, well, we're not gonna stretch this one out too long. I just want to make sure that in the story it makes sense where we're stopping each week. But yeah, again, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This World. Episodes 1 through 3.
How do you spell that?
Up this time. Konosuba. Yeah, I should just split like a Crunchyroll subscription, because I would give you mine, but I got mad people.
Wait, why? Kids Anime works perfectly fine.
You're right, but it's just it's easier to get things.
I ain't gonna lie, the ads is ass, but I don't really mind them.
Like, I just have a perpetual tab open on my Xbox.
I get that. That's how I am for streams. I just watch I watch a lot of anime, man, on my commute.
On your Xbox.
I too watch a lot of Japanese style cartoons.
I'm sure you do, Justin. I'm sure man. You do.
It's a world. They made it, so.
Nani?
Hey. If they made it, somebody's got to consume it, right?
Hentai.
Word.
Can that be how we start off the episode?
Hentai.
Or is that's the show title?
Oh yes, we can do that. I'm with it.
Oh, that's freaky. Y'all niggas nasty.
Niggas
nasty. Especially you, Justin.
What did I do? John's the one that said it.
But you implied it though.
All right. We wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up then.
What JT poured one out for his little the little homies. Miles, you pour one out for someone in the show?
Let's see.
I think that's gonna be our thing when we finish a series. We finish a season or whatever.
If
it doesn't have to be in person, just like the show.
If I'm gonna pour it out for somebody in the show, I'm gonna pour it out for really Rem and Subaru's relationship, just because I feel like that's one of the things where it was the best it never was. Like, I really like the dynamic that they had, and I feel like they were very compatible, but it's just the fact that, typical anime shit, the dude that loves somebody is always got his head in the cloud and not thinking about the girl that loves him, even though the girl that loves him is probably better for him. Yeah. It's crazy. But, that's facts. I'll also pour it out for all the times that Subaru died, because I think it had to have been at least 10 times since the first episode. So it's been a lot.
That was a lot.
He learned a lot. He learned a lot in those 10 deaths.
Facts.
Felt like a video game sometimes, but he did his thing.
I think for me, there's two that I'm thinking of. One, I'll say I'll pour one out for Krush, just because I feel like she's the best. I mean, Amelia would be like a good they need to have Amelia and Krush run the country together, and it would work out. But I just feel like, to be honest, if I had to pick one, I feel like Cruz should be the best person for Super to be with, not just because like Rem loves him unconditionally and they do need to be together, but like just from a smart decision. I like Cruz, but I think more so for Reinhard, because now that we know his mom died, his dad's been stressing over that, and then now he has to deal with Felt. So Reinhard, and then he just never got to show off how boss he was enough. So pour one out for Reinhard. And yeah, and that concludes this episode. Episode 8 concludes our ReZero segment of Anime Book Club, our first chapter being finished again. Yeah. Follow us, Sarutobi Sports, everywhere. Check us out on YouTube. I feel like the easiest way to share it is on YouTube. I'm breaking up the episodes into chunks, so it's a little more easy to digest, and then like I say, easier to share in certain parts already. And follow me at Offended Normal on Twitter, guys.
Well, y'all just be advised for all of the good games that are about to be on for the NFL this week. Well, definitely not as good as this past week, but my favorite sports season of the year is coming up. That's October, because you got playoff baseball, you got the start of the NBA season, and then you got the heart of football season. So you got a lot of things that's coming up, and I think it'll only make this podcast better, and I think it'll only, just keep creating interesting dialogues to speak about. But with all of that said, just follow us, Sarutobi Sports, on Instagram, and same thing on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a good time in the sporting world. And you know what? Give a shout out to NASCAR. The playoffs are starting up.
Justin, shut up.
Oh my God.
Justin, be
So,
quiet.
you got a bevy of good young racers. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch is still killing it out there. Kurt Busch is still killing it. I mean, it's crazy. Matt Kenseth is still racing. I don't even understand how he's still racing. Jimmy Johnson, I don't think he made the playoff.
I would give you the Looney Tunes hook and pull you off the stage right now.
That's right.
See,
you have to
let this be a lesson, kids, that people are going to doubt you and they're going to come at you. And just because I have an eclectic taste in my sports and I can talk about NASCAR doesn't mean I should be ridiculed for it. How many other black people can talk about NASCAR?
Whatever you say, Ricky Bobby.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. All right.
Big and bait.
See, nobody knows where boogity, boogity comes from. That's Daryl Waltrip. See, I'm schooling everybody, man. Man, look.
Yo, wrap this shit up, man. I'm gonna cut
Follow me on the Twitters, J_Thomas_24. I forgot what my name was for a second. That was crazy. Penny Proud signing off.
All right. Share us, you bitches.